AFTV Turkish, what can I say? Another defeat. That's since the break, the international break. That's 3 defeats in a row in games that we looked at and earmarked and said these are the winnable games before we go into the really tough ones, because the next 3, Chelsea, Man United, West Ham. So these 3, we looked at these 3 and we said Crystal Palace, Brighton, we also looked on it and said to ourselves, Southampton. Not only that, before the game today, Tottenham go and lose at home. Yeah. And still.
Same old Arsenal. You're talking to someone who ain't surprised, Rob. As much as throughout this season, I've seen bits of optimism. I've seen things to take. It looked like we was developing well. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these young players this season have developed well. But it's like we've run out of steam. And when you've got a young side and a thin squad, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this was going to come. So you're talking to someone who knows really what's going on with this club. This club are not ambitious enough. They are not ambitious enough to really, step it up how we want us to step it up. They're teetering with it all. They're playing with us again. Yes, we spent 150 million last summer, but at the end of the day, was it enough? Was it in the right areas? All of these questions are to be posed now, because at the end of the season, we're crumbling. In January, Arteta in the first week said, we have to maximise every window. That's a direct quote from Mikel Arteta. 8th of January, we have to maximise every window. On the 8th of February, he said, Edu done a fantastic job in January. I'm sorry, but those 2 quotes can't sit in the same sentence because they're so far
didn't buy anybody.
Exactly. How did we maximise January? We didn't. All this talk about if we don't find the right player, we're not going to do it. Well, Tavares and Lokonga are the players you bought in the summer, and you struggled to fit them in a crucial point of the season. You're struggling to make it work at a crucial point of the season. Were they the right player? I said the same thing last week. I'm going to say it again next week probably. Because like you said, Rob, these were meant to be the games where let's get 9 out of 9. We got 0 out of 9 points heading into Chelsea, Man United and West Ham. It's done.
You think chances are the top? I mean, I heard someone in there saying forget top 4. We've struggled to get top 6 at this rate. With the form that we're on, we must be the worst form team in the Premier League, apart from probably Watford.
What's that, 4 out of 5 losses? Yeah. Yes, we can look past the Liverpool one because we bounced back against Villa, but since the international break, it's not on. Rob, we've scored 45 goals this season, conceded 37. We've got 7 games to play. Last season, we conceded 39 at the end. We're on course to concede more than last season. Last season, we scored 55. Do you see us scoring 10 in the last 7, Rob? It looks unlikely. So at this moment in time, we look on course to score less and concede more than last season. So does it really matter if you're 8th, 7th, 6th or 5th? It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, there hasn't been as much improvement as we thought we were seeing along the way, because it's 11 losses. 11 losses. I meant to look at this season as what? It's gone down the drain again, Rob, in typical fashion. I can understand if we tripped up against Chelsea, Man United or West Ham. I can understand with the young squad, with the Finns. I can understand it more. I can't understand what's happened now.
So they just couldn't break them down, innit? They got that goal, which was, let's be real, it was against the run of play. It was sort of all Arsenal before that. But then we still had a whole half to attempt to break them down. We just couldn't break them down. And we're putting balls into the box, high balls in there. They got a goalkeeper who's about 6'9", right? They got tall players at the back. I couldn't work out why we were trying to play in that manner.
How long have we been struggling to score goals? How long have we been struggling to create chances? This ain't a this season problem. This is a last season problem. This is the first half of last season problem. How long do we need to give to start seeing a bit better? We've tried this season as fans. I've tried this season as a fan to ride the optimism waves. I've tried. And heading into that Palace game, I actually thought we're favourites for top 4, albeit Tottenham have the lighter schedule, the lighter workload going into the last 8-9 games. I thought, what Mikel Arteta has done is he created a little cushion here. We can afford maybe to slip up against a Chelsea or a West Ham or even a Tottenham, and we'll still be there or thereabouts. What's happening in the last 3 games is done. All that good work from the draw against Burnley in January till the win against Villa, it's gone. I'm sorry, but I cannot give credit for patches in the season. It's not about patches in the season. It's about 38 games. It's not about how the last 7 games of the season went. What Wenger used to go on about a lot. Would be out of it a title challenge in January, but because we make a late run into top 4, it's look at the last half of the season. We've got a lot to go into into next season. It was all what Wenger used to say: if we don't find the right player, if we don't find that world class talent, we're not going to buy. That was many times that was his excuse for transfer windows. Arteta's used that same excuse for January. It peters down from the ownership. I'm sorry, Rob, I keep on going back to it. But the ownership is the reason why all of the seasons in recent times are ending the way they are. They are the reason why we're not going into a season as fans with our chest out, with hope, optimism. Forget the 3 losses at the start of this season. We've lost 8, even if you put them away. So I don't want to hear people saying, oh, those first 3 games, COVID. Listen, we've lost 8 since.
We've just lost 3 on the bounce again.
Exactly. So don't...
A vital part of this. This is, to me, the worrying thing. It's a vital part of the season. And they're winnable games. Yeah. They're not like, City, Liverpool away, Chelsea away as you're free. They're winnable games. And we haven't laid a glove in any of them. Scored 1 goal in those 3 games as well, which was a deflected goal.
And like I said at the beginning, I'm not someone that didn't foresee this coming. I really hope that it wouldn't. I really hope we're, over that hump of crumbling. But again, this season, when it's a young side, it's a thin squad, it's bound to happen, Rob. January was the time to give a bit of life to it. Give something back to the fans who were amazing in the first half of the season, to the young players who were amazing. But they didn't. The club didn't do this. It's not on those young players out there. Listen, Foster made a few good saves today. At the end of the day, if our finishing was better, we would have seen that game on. Those saves, it wasn't, none of our shots were in the corner. None of them were really, we don't trust our players to finish. Let's be honest here. Emil Smith-Rowe saved us a few times this season. Saka saved us a few times this season. Martinelli. But they're not prolific. They're not prolific strikers. They're not prolific goal scorers. They done their job to get us to where we are at the end of the season. The club didn't do their job. And someone like Saka, I believe he will sign a new contract. Maybe I'm stupid for that, but I think he's young enough to know if he signs another contract and the club still don't move forward in the next few years, he can still move on going into his prime. Maybe that's stupid of me, because I wouldn't be surprised if he looks at this now and says, well, I don't know about a new contract. Maybe I go into my last 2 years. And don't forget what the club said to us 3 years ago. No players will go into their last 2 years. This club is full of lies, Rob. This club is full of lies, and we give them the benefit of doubt. We clean the slate for nothing, essentially nothing. At the end of the day, the manager hasn't been good enough. Edu hasn't been good enough. And the ownership is never good enough at this club. And we can ride optimistic waves all we want. But the reality is, top 4 is not really success. Yes, we'd be happy with it, but we've got a lot farther to go to achieve success. So why are we arguing amongst ourselves as fans now? This is not good enough. 11 losses, we're going to score less and concede more than last season. It's not on.
This show is brought to you by Manscaped. Use the code AFTV for 20% off your order and free shipping at manscaped.com. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.